The dance drama Seki no To, The Snowbound Barrier, was first performed in 1784 with lyrics by Takarada Jurai, music by Tobaya Richo, and choreography by Nishikawa Senzo II. The work is an important example of the grand, flamboyant style typical of the Tenmei era of the 1780s. The lyrics have begun with Mukashi Mukashi, once upon a time, long, long ago, and they go on to describe the scene before us in which one of our main characters, Sekibe, is dozing after chopping wood. The actor is Matsumoto Koshiro VIII. The date is the late 9th century. We are deep among the snowbound mountains at a road barrier. Such barriers were permanent checkpoints set up to control the traffic of people and goods between the provinces of old Japan. This is the barrier at Mount Osaka, situated between Kyoto and the east, and Sekibe here is the barrier guard. We're told that the gathering of winter fuel is merely a side job for Sekibe as he hums to himself a popular tune of the day. The role of Sekibe is a demanding one. It's of the type known as atsuwatamono, a term referring to the thickly padded outer coat that he wears. Such characters are always somewhat larger than life and are much given to powerful and exaggerated posing. From close by, an accomplished hand, we're told, begins to play the koto. Its delicate plucking sound is here imitated by the three-stringed shamisen.
ここは大阪山の関。天下を我が物にしようと謀反を企てた大友の黒
We should assume that the music comes from behind the reed blinds on the right. The song the koto player sings is an old melancholy one called Usuyuki, light snow, describing a person's bitterness at his wretched fate. In fact, the Emperor Ningmyo has recently passed away, and one of his loyal subjects, the courtier Munesada, has come from the capital to hold memorial services for the repose of his soul. It is Munesada who now plays the koto.
降りしきる雪の中を美しい女が一人訪ねてきました。
The figure of a beautiful woman is approaching. Her name is Komachi, and she carries with her the typical traveling gear for noble ladies, a silver cane and a traveling hat, and she wears the stage version of a straw raincoat to protect herself from the snow. Her long-sleeved red kimono and elaborate hair ornaments are a convention for this type of role, called akahime, Red Princess. Regardless of the situation and the lyrics, the costume is a constant reminder of the character's high birth, her delicacy, and purity of heart. The actor is Nakamura Utaemon VI. She listens. My, but how sweet that melody's tone. The musicians give us her thoughts. They sing, I travel these mountain paths to the barrier gate. Where exquisite strains are heard from those koto strings. Such memories they awaken of the life I knew. Thinking back, there were curtains of richest brocade. Within towers encrusted with jewels. Was I born and raised? Hairpins of finest jade did adorn my head. And by some I was likened, in appearance and form, to spring's first blossoms, just now opening. Beneath a shower of rain. This school of music is known as Tokiwazu, and it came to the fore in the mid-18th century as narrative accompaniment for Kabuki dance dramas. Of the three sizes of shamisen used in Kabuki, Tokiwazu employs the middle size, called chuzao, medium neck. The effect is tender, the feeling dignified and composed. The lyrics go on. Yet, how different am I now? Those robes I have exchanged. For these roughly woven threads and these narrow sleeves. Now my figure I conceal. With my straw coat and hat. She rubs her leg from exhaustion. We hear, resting her weight on her cane, faltering and tired, at last she now approaches the barrier gate. The blinds of the small house lift to reveal the loyal courtier Munesada, played by Onoe Baiko VII. By way of commenting on the scene's beauty, he quotes an old poem. In the falling snow, the grass and trees lie dormant in the winter's cold, yet do flowers blossom forth that cannot be seen in spring. This scenery is beyond words, is it not, Seki-be? It is indeed. Mountain upon mountain glistens in this silver world, and this cherry tree has returned to bloom. To accompany this snow, nothing could be better than a warm cup of sake. Assistance, if you please. It seems that someone is at the barrier. Who is it asking for assistance? Why, I see you're a woman. All alone through this heavy snow, why have you come to this barrier? I am on a pilgrimage to the temple Miidera. Please allow me to pass through the barrier. It's not that I don't want to let you through. But do you possess an official pass? I have nothing of that sort. But without a pass, I cannot let you through. Do not say that. She must be suffering in all this snow. Take pity and allow her through. As it's you who pleads for her, sir, I don't say I won't permit it. Why, seeing it's a woman, he is keen to let her through. Woman, if I ask you some questions, do you agree to answer them one by one? If only I am able, I will answer whatever you ask. In that case, here's the first thing. I just don't understand. Whatever can it be? I shall explain. The singers now take over the dialogue as the actors dance. Seki begins by posing as a beautiful woman as we hear the lines, "Why, setting eyes on you now, your manner and form far surpasses the flowers in all their beauty." Comically, he mimes a beautiful woman holding a mirror before her as she applies makeup. The singers go on. Shaped like a crescent moon are your blackened eyebrows. Peerless and incomparable. Is your lovely form. Bringing his sleeves to his shoulders, he mimics the walk of a proud courtier. No doubt those of noble rank or warriors from some great mansion. Seeing you for the first time among so many. Still, they show no interest in one as lovely as you. They'd be rustic boors indeed to abandon you there. As the phrase rustic boor is sung, the actor briefly mimes a tree, an arrow and a pole, a pestle and mortar, knocking at a door, and a key in a lock, as visual puns, homonyms for each syllable in the word. The practice of miming each syllable, disregarding the context, is called ateburi, and is typical of the wit and sophistication of Tenmei-era Kabuki dance. continue, they'd not be very gallant to ignore you so. For what reason would they do it? It would make no sense at all. No sense at all. Komachi replies, "Ah, those sensuous garments in which I would dress. I have discarded them now. And in their place I wear these crow-black sleeves of mourning." Now I go to pray that my beloved mother's soul attains salvation. Therefore am I dressed like a Buddhist attendant. While commendable the words that I hear you speak, if you pursue the path to true enlightenment, then why is it you haven't shaved your long black hair? Glancing down at her apparel, she replies, "Though my distaste for the world may resist outward show, it is deep within my heart that I remain pure." Now then, what's the cure for carnal desire? Why, to seek enlightenment. For the wickedness of Daiba, there is Kannon's mercy. What of Handoku's foolishness? The wisdom of Monju. This question and answer section is borrowed from the Noh play Sotoba Komachi about the historical poetess. The witty parody of classical literature is an important theme throughout this dance. Komachi is indeed wise and beautiful. Seki now mimics the walk of an old woman as he asks if, for a nun, though she lived to be 100, is it still not a pity that she should sleep alone? Singing for Sekibe, we hear, "It is the first time we meet." Now, from this deep snow, do come to take shelter in the shade of that tree. It is clear that Sekibe himself is captivated by this rare beauty, and he is now more than willing for her to pass through the barrier. Komachi recognizes Munesada. In the past, the two were lovers, and both are now startled by this unexpected reunion. What is it that you are doing here? Why, when was it? It was after you and I parted at the temple in Furu. The crown prince made illicit advances, and in order to escape him, I fled the palace. Dressed as I am, I came here in secret. You have surely had to suffer great hardship. And I, too, have known similar misfortune. Close to this place is the late emperor's tomb. That is why this cherry tree that he so loved has been transplanted here. Though we say the trees lack feeling, yet as if grief-stricken at his passing, it has put forth blossoms colourless as watery ink. Thanks to the virtue of your own verse, at its height its flowers were splendid in hue, and it came to be known as Komachi-zakura, the Komachi cherry. So fond was I of that name that I came to live a solitary life beneath its boughs. Ah, to think of it now. How ephemeral our fate. So you are the Lady Komachi. Well, well, no doubt Munesada there is overjoyed. Now we can all feel at ease. Won't you tell me the story of how you both met and fell in love? But in my present state, I would be ashamed to speak of such things. Perhaps the story will serve as a confession, clearing away the mists of delusion on the road to enlightenment. In that case, the story of our romance. Quickly, I want to hear it. I beseech you. I beseech you. Munesada points into the distant past. The singers again take over the dialogue as the actors mime to the words. Their first meeting, we hear, was in the autumn of last year. It was at a court gathering to view the beauty of the full moon. Munesada holds his fan up as the moon. The ribs of the fan become a slatted fence through which Munesada first glimpsed Komachi. Unable to contain his thoughts, we're told, he took up his pen. The folded fan becomes a letter scroll on which he would compose some message. Rubbing an ink stick, he dips in his brush and begins. In the lyrics, once I had begun, I wrote deep into the night. and the number of my letters was beyond counting. You can remember, I'm sure, such was their volume. We've now begun an important section known as the Kudoki, the entreaty, in which the woman recounts events and feelings in dance. The slow tempo and strongly emotional content of such kudoki make them a great test of the actor's skill. Here, Komachi recalls that, at the time, her mother had just died. In the lyrics, my aim was to pray for her in the life to come. And for that did I confine myself for a single night. But with one look at your face, a shudder passed through me. So deeply moved was I. She mimes taking off her mourning garb as we hear all thoughts of the afterlife, of enlightenment. Somewhere or other I discarded. Then all through the night, you and I. She brings together her fingers to represent their union. Until daybreak did we share all that was in our hearts. But no, no. All those solemn vows I made, I could not break them now. So saying, right there and then, sadly we parted. Ah, to think of it, how fleeting. Our melancholy fate. And so her lamenting tears were told, flowed in such torrents as to far surpass in volume the barrier's clear spring. Your grief is only natural, only natural. But from now, this Sekibe understands what to do, and you can rest assured. Sekibe means to act as official go-between. Then I put my trust in you. In that case, it's settled. Let's clap our hands to confirm it. Many congratulations. Sekibe has accidentally dropped two important objects. Komachi quickly picks one up. The other two press him to say what the objects are, but Sekibe has no reply. In order to allay their suspicions, Sekibe pretends to be unconcerned, and all three characters proceed to dance in celebration. Though it's more common for actors to use props, such as fans, while dancing, this section is characterized by its hand gestures alone and is called teodori, hand dance. Despite making the same moves, each character reveals their true nature through the different manner of dancing. The slightly coarse barrier guard, the refined courtier, and the graceful, feminine lady. The musicians sing that lovers must always meet. Even when separated by a broad river, there will always be bridges and boats to bring them together again. They mime rowing with a single oar. Why, both boats and bridges, we hear, are love's go-betweens. Komachi tries to get the other object out of Sekibe's coat. The singer continues. The weaver star and her love met but once a year, yet they had at least one night to spend together. She writes on a Tanzaku poetry slip as we hear of the Tanabata festival on the 7th of the 7th month. Based on Chinese mythology, this celebrates the one-day meeting of lovers transformed into stars and separated by the Milky Way. In the lyrics, yet spending a lifetime apart with love unfulfilled, how heartless and inhuman is this my sad lot. So, in anguish and despair, she dissolves in tears. Now, what have we here? With your sobbing tears, I sympathize. So I'll bring you together this evening. We hear, soaked among the frost and dew, you'll turn crimson as the maple leaves. As you meet across that bridge. At the evening's end, the go-between's duty will be done. As a celebratory toast, I shall go within to warm some sake. I beg to take my leave, he says. And he hurries off. A bird's cry heralds the appearance of a white hawk. Why, that is certainly Seirai's hawk. But what is that attached to its leg? On this torn sleeve is written in blood, 2 brothers in the same boat. It comes from an ancient Chinese tale in which a younger brother saved the life of the elder by dying in his place. Then, my own younger brother Yasusada, pretending to be you, he has died in your place. In an earlier scene no longer performed, the evil Otomo no Kuronushi ordered his forces to assassinate all loyal supporters of the late emperor. In an attack on Munesada's home, Yasusada disguised himself as his brother and, just before dying, managed to write this message and send it as a warning. How strange to hear a cockerel's cry. It seemed to come from under the stone. Under the rock was a circular mirror, on the back of which there's the lifelike image of a cockerel. That sleeve, defiled with blood, must have made this sacred image cry out. Then that has to be the famous treasure of the Otomo house, the 8-voiced mirror. At my mansion, Lord Takamura passed to me one half of a wooden tablet. When I recall that object dropped by the barrier guard, and place them together like this. It reads Mirror Mountain, the characters match. How suspicious is that barrier guard? I will remain here to watch him carefully. But I ask that you return to your mansion to have beacon fires lit as a signal for men to surround the barrier. Report this to Lord Takamura. Then I shall depart at once, Munesada. I bid you farewell. In the lyrics, go without a moment's delay, says Munesada. And so, trusting in his words, Lady Komachi must hurriedly take her leave from her beloved. Yet on Mount Osaka they will meet again. Making her way through the snow, she hastens away. The thudding drum indicates snowfall, creating a sense of urgency. The path is frozen and dangerous. The bell has tolled the late hour. In the singer's lines, already this night it's begun to fall again. Snowflakes scatter like goose down, blown by flapping wings. Silently, they flutter down. As the night wears on. It is just the time to pray. For the former emperor's soul, memorial services. Sutra readings for the early hours. Before the lacquer table, Munisada begins to burn incense for the dead, as we hear, nor must prayers be forgotten for the repose of his soul. Chants for my younger brother, Yasusada. This informal service, my heart's only offering. When I think of it, how pitiful my poor brother's death. And yet, this, his blood-stained sleeve, if I keep it by my side, it may displease the former emperor. What should I do? But how fortunate. I'll hide it beneath that koto. Just then, from within, we're told, the barrier guard returns. Sekibe comes back from warming the sake, but he already appears the worse for drink. He carries in one hand a giant sake cup and in the other an oversized kettle. Now he sways and he staggers as he comes this way. The musician speaks for Sekibe. Why, in all the wide world, there's nothing so pleasurable as a warm cup of sake. But haven't you gone to bed yet? Why have you not yet retired? And where is that bride of yours? She's in bed, isn't she? But of course she is. That you haven't gone to join her there is your loss. Over there, as well as over here, we find a deep abyss of love. Perhaps you're of a mind to plunge right in. Indeed, I must retire to bed. But you are most exceedingly drunk. A perilous thing to do. Unisada has tried to steal the other object previously dropped by Sekibe. What is your hand doing in my breast pocket? Now I comprehend. In this heavy snow, you must have been warming your cold fingers. Now, let's put hand in hand together in congratulations. Sekibe sings to bless the couple's betrothal. How happy, how auspicious the young pine. Its branches all flourish, and thickly grow its leaves. Blessings be upon you. For 1,000 years, your children will prosper, happy and propitious. 1,000 autumns, 10,000 years, a life everlasting. At last, Munesada is forced back into his house, leaving Seki-bey temporarily collapsed from drink. With doubt still weighing on his mind, we hear, reluctantly, Munesada withdraws. Now he must pour for himself, left to drink alone. Why, just about now, how they must be flirting with each other. Thickly entwined as the pines of Matsuyama, how it tears at my heart to think of it. But let's have another cup. A great highlight follows soon. Just as he's about to drink, he sees an unusual formation of stars reflected in his cup. The actor will strike a famous pose, for it's now that the evil Kuronushi, disguised as Seki-bey, at last sees that the time has come to make his move in conquering Japan. The fast drum roll signifies a supernatural event. How strange this is. Here in my cup, the light of Saturn glitters. It is the hour of the tiger. This month, on this very night, I shall cut down this cherry tree of over 300 years. If I burn it as an offering to the god Hanzoku Taishi, then all my fervent prayers will be answered. How happy this makes me. What joy. Fortunately, I have the axe. He decides to sharpen it and throws the sake to lubricate the whetstone. Soon the actor will perform a very brief roppo by hopping on one foot on his way to the whetstone. This technique is most often seen in the exit of a mighty or supernatural character and always gives emphasis to the character's strength. As the axe is sharpened, the lyrics refer to the sound of grinding and to the golden sparks that illuminate the night sky. must test the axe's blade. Conveniently, there's that koto. He finds the torn sleeve hidden by Munesada. As he brings it out, the other object he previously dropped mysteriously flies out of his coat into the cherry tree. How mysterious. Now I find this torn sleeve. The imperial seal of state in my pocket has flown into the branches of this tree. This tree is most suspicious. Though he tries to cut the tree down, some unseen force repels him and eventually renders him unconscious. In the lyrics we hear, "Is this some phantom? In the shadows of the cherry, amidst this piling snow." The lyrics will go on to quote from an ancient poem about the legend of Mount Fusan, in which a female mountain spirit appears to her lover in his dreams. Describing the mysterious vision, we hear the lines, "Surely at the break of day it will turn to mist, while in the evening shadows it will turn to rain."
怪しい桜と斧を振り上げた途端、関兵衛は桜の古木の霊気に打たれて気を失ってしまいます。実はこの桜の木の霊気を操るのは人間
The legend of Fusan lives again, we hear, before our very eyes.
やがて関兵衛が我に返ると、そこには小町桜の精が墨染めと名乗る遊女に身を変えてコナさんを慕って会いに来たと現れます。歌右衛門の二役です。
Now the figure of Sumizome stands before us. Again, the rolling drum indicates the supernatural. The high-pitched flute heard in this section is being played in a style called netori, normally reserved for apparitions. The character Sumizome is also played by Nakamura Utaemon, who previously took the role of Komachi. This is the spirit of the cherry tree, now transformed into a courtesan from the city's pleasure quarters. In previous scenes no longer performed, this spirit took the form of a beautiful woman who fell in love with Munesada's brother, Yasusada. Since her lover was forced to take his own life, the spirit appears now to seek vengeance on the one who ordered the attack. The singers have described how this courtesan was taken at an early age to the pleasure quarters, like a young tree uprooted and transplanted there. We hear, each year at springtime are her rich blossoms visited by the mountain wind. Yet, though it comes with promises to sleep by her side, like froth upon the water, it soon vanishes. Petals scattered on the current, this courtesan's lot. Though tipsy, I did not intend to sleep. From out of nowhere comes this unfamiliar woman. When did you come to this mountainous barrier, and where are you from? I come from the Shumokumachi pleasure quarters. Why are you here? To meet someone. Whom would you meet? Why, to meet you. Please favor me with your love. Yearning for the love I have not seen, I have braved the snow and great distance to come here. Give me, I beg, a favorable reply. I'd like to say I'm grateful, but then... This I really don't understand. What a doubting nature you have. Why, it's just like the old song, blossoming cherries, a mountain of cherry trees and cherry blossoms. There are those cherries that stay, and others that quickly fall. Alas, to think of it now. How like them are human hearts. Yes, indeed, that may well be. By the way, courtesan, what is your name? It is Sumizome. But originally this cherry tree's name was also Sumizome. And a very good name it is. I myself have never bought the services of a courtesan, all those strategies of the quarter, the skills of love and intimacy, the truth and the lies, the intricate wiles, all the intrigue of the tea house. Let us speak of it all. right here and now. We hear a fast repeated melody on the shamisen. Called Sugagaki, it creates the excited atmosphere associated with the opening of the pleasure houses. In this section, Sumizome and Sekibe perform a pantomime of a courtesan's parade through the streets, with Sumizome parading in front and Sekibe holding up a makeshift parasol above her from behind. The lyrics refer to the throngs of lovesick visitors to this district of pleasure. Borrowing the lines of a 9th century poem from the Tales of Ise, we hear, "Whether going or returning, my secret longing grows." Like ferns spreading in confusion, it knows no bounds. Whether a dark or moonlit night, they come stealthily to the brothels. Sekibe mimes tying on a scarf to hide his features in such places of ill repute. The image of a street at night is suggested, and Sekibe mimes people coming one way and then going another as they stream past the brothel's front parlours. At night, their lanterns pass to and fro. With her wad of tissues, the courtesan beckons to her lover from within the parlour. She whispers her plan to sneak him indoors and covers him with her outer robe called uchikake as a way of keeping him hidden. Once safely inside, the lover comes out of hiding, feeling as though he's just escaped a serpent's jaws. Then they settle down with a cup of sake in her private rooms, finally retiring to bed, we hear, at past 2 o'clock in the morning. But Sekibe feels the still warm mattress. Why, surely this unfamiliar scent is from that customer who just went home. So you've got another man, have you? Don't know who he is, but I can guess he's younger and prettier than me. And with plenty of cash, no doubt. He must be some ladies' man. Must have fallen head over heels for him and made vows of love, haven't you? How furious I am. I have no idea what you're talking about. Why, you're just picking a quarrel. She pinches him. That hurt. I won't stay in a place like this. I'm going home. As Sumizome tries to prevent him from leaving, the singers quote from the old Kyogen play Tsurigitsune about a fox returning to its den in the wild. By mistake, he drops the blood-stained sleeve. Woman, why do you cry? To keep her true intentions concealed, she pretends to think this must be a love letter from another woman. It's her vows of love, isn't it? That is a torn sleeve. No, no, they're vows of love. Are they not? Very well then, they are vows of love. How could you? Though she pretends to be jealous of this other woman, Sumizome in fact exudes bitter hatred for the man she considers her lover Yasusada's murderer. To the slow tempo and haunting melody of this second Kudoki section, Sumizome berates Sekibe for his fickle heart. We hear, from the very start, with another you exchanged these pledges of love. You shared such deep relations. And yet, all this while, from me, you did conceal it. And much more than this. It was with me that you made love. How you have deceived me. How hateful you are. Yet, knowing nothing of this, I came longingly. Taking out a hairpin, she makes to dress his hair. Such scenes of hair combing usually indicate feelings of deep intimacy between lovers. The lyrics continue, "But now I see quite clearly how vain were my hopes." As both read the characters on the sleeve, the singer tells us that for Sumizome, these words in blood are a last memento of her young lover. We hear, "To think of it as a keepsake, now all the more, how I miss him, how sad I feel." From the start, though pretending to be in love, you have blamed me, remaining attached to that sleeve. Suspicious woman, tell me the truth. What is it? Why, this sleeve bears the blood of my own beloved. What's more, you had in your possession the imperial seal of state, that through my special powers I have managed to wrest from you. Reveal now your true identity. Now it's come to this, there's no point in hiding it. I am the direct descendant of middle counselor Yakamochi. With designs on the realm, I am none other than Otomo no Kuronushi. Approach to see my face and make obeisance. The quick change of costume called Bukkairi represents the revelation of his true identity. You have vented your bitterness towards me. Before all else, tell me who you are. Kuronushi now wears the costume of an imperial courtier, while his hair, in the style called Oji, prince, is worn by aristocratic arch-villains. As Sumizome gradually discloses her real identity, she prepares for her own Bukkairi costume change with the help of a Kurogo stage assistant. The singer gives her lines. That I've borne you such hatred is the reason why I now take on the form of a mere human. Though it's as a woman that you see me now, I am the spirit of the Komachi cherry. Though a tree lacking feelings, once I took a woman's form, I experienced the 7 passions that are the fate of all humans. Becoming intimate with Yasusada, he and I exchange pledges of love. The lyrics begin to describe Yasusada's final moments, here relived by Sumizome. We hear, that arrow wound, unforeseen, the thread of his life cut short. Kuromushi's men had come to assassinate Munesada at his mansion, but Yasusada then saw his chance to save his brother's life by impersonating him. Sumizome mimes her lover bowing respectfully to Munesada. Taking his dear brother's place, he would give up his life. And thus, tragically, he departed this world. Now to this sad memento, my dear husband's sleeve. Am I perpetually drawn, in form a shimmer of air? My true self, I am the cherry tree. Yet, with the cruel blade of your axe, you would have cut me down. Prepare yourself now for your just retribution. At hand, a branch of cherry, the whip with which to reproach him as she glares at him in anger. What impudence is this, he cries, as rushing headlong, he again takes grip of his axe and makes to attack. But no ordinary person is this spirit, for with her special powers her form becomes light as she nimbly flits and flutters. We hear of a storm of petals swirling like snow on a dark night. In the shadows of a watery moon, Kuronushi cannot catch his foe. Now seen, now vanishing from view, only to appear once more. It is now before our eyes she leaves the human realm. Departing this cycle of birth and death, to her roots she returns. See now the signs, only her voice is heard as her form fades from our sight. And thus, every spring, the cherry will put forth returning blossoms, pushing through the snow. The tale of Sumizome and the Komachi cherry tree will spread far and wide, immortalized with brush and ink, and saved for all time. The dance comes to an end with a famous tableau called Emen no Mie, the picture pose, symbolizing Kuronoshi's final defeat. The translation for Seki no To was written and narrated by Paul Griffith.